Jira Tutorial 2023, How to Use Jira for Project Management, full in-depth tutorial. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you all are doing great and are having an amazing and incredible day. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can use Jira, one of the greatest project management softwares out there. And we're going to be taking a very comprehensive look at how you can use it to manage your projects effectively. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Now, basically, to head straight into Jira, you're going to come to Atlassian.com. Now, Atlassian are the people who created the Jira software, so here we are. Now, once we are here in the software, basically what you're going to do to get yourself into it is basically just sign in for yourself. So for that, you're going to come here and you're going to click on Register Now. Okay, now once you go ahead into Register Now for the Jira software, you're just gonna, make sure to have a proper Atlassian account. And once you do that, as you see, I already have an account, so I'm just gonna go ahead and click on Get It Free. Now, once you click on Get It Free over here, as you can see, they show you two things. So first of all, the Jira software project and issue tracking. So you can select a second product if you want to with like the service management, DevOps, and everything, but I don't really want that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click on Next. Now, once you're over here they're gonna say welcome Jack. Now they're gonna ask you to basically give a website name. So I'm just gonna give it a random name, okay? Just giving it a totally random name so I can get accepted in. Now once that happens, I'm gonna click on agree. And once I click on agree, we're just gonna head straight into the main frame of Jira. Now, here I am. Over here, they're gonna like start setting up my website and ask me to do all this. They're gonna thank me for signing up. And while this is happening, let's start with like the basics. What is Jira basically? So simply put, Jira is basically a project management tool that helps teams track and manage all of their work. It was originally designed for software development teams. Jira has since evolved to become a versatile tool for managing all types of projects. But what basically sets Jira apart from other project management tools? For one, Jira's customizable workflows and boards allow teams to tailor the tool to their specific needs. Additionally, Jira's integrations with other Atlassian tools like Confluence and Bitbucket make it a pretty powerful collaboration platform for the teams. So once you've understood all that, here we are. Here it's going to say help us set up your Jira. So you can say I am new to or I am experienced with. You can go with any of these. I'm going to go with I am new to. Jira, I am setting up Jira for, it could be your business team or your software team. Depends on whatever you want to go with. I'm gonna go with software team. My team is Dash Agile Methodologies, so I'm gonna go with new. We spend our time working on, you could go with features, support, fixing bugs, etc. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go with features. We have a tight schedule or we have a flexible. I'm gonna go with tight and I'm gonna click on next. Now once that is done, what you're gonna do from there on out is you're gonna start writing the name of your project by creating it and everything. So you're gonna come here. You can change these details anytime in your project settings. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a random name. So like keeping a name right now does not matter because you can always change it later. Now over here, this is the important part because once you're setting up and you're creating a project, here is where they're going to ask you for a template. Okay, now in Jira, projects are a way to organize your work and track progress. So do make sure that once you're creating a project, you can start creating your other issues. So again, in templates, you could go with the different templates. Jira gives you Scrum, and it gives you other from you have Kanban, you have bug tracking. Now Kanban is more, you could say, popular in the project management scenario because Kanban is like more widely used, and Kanban can be seen used with you could say Trello or ClickUp, places like those. So you can go with Kanban if you're more, you could say, familiarized with it. but I'm just going to go with Scrum because it's more recommended when it comes to Jira. You can also go on show more and you can see what type of project you want to manage for your team. And once you've done that, just go ahead and click on create. Now, once you click on create, it creates a project for you. So here it's going to say select some tools and now we'll help you connect them later. These are basically your integrations, which you can use like, Slack, Teams, GitHub, GitLab. You can use these to contact your team, or, GitHub or GitLab. They're used for, software companies and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave these empty for now because we're going to be talking about integrations later on in the video. Now, once we're over here, as you can see, you have headed into the main look of, the whole Jira software. Now, basically, first of all, as I said, we would start with the basics. So I explained to you what Jira actually is. It's a project management tool, helps teams track and manage their work. And it's a pretty versatile tool, great for managing all types of projects. And it's just great when it comes to, the Atlassian software. Now that we've created a project, we're going to use issues to basically organize our work. Now you're probably wondering, what are issues? In Jira, issues are basically your tasks, bugs, or stories that need to be completed as part of the project. Issues can be customized with fields and workflows to fit your team's needs. Now, to create issues, basically, let's say you are here in your backlog or roadmap, okay? So to create an issue, you're just going to come here, up here, you're going to click on create, and as you can see, it says create issue. You're going to choose the project you want to create the issue for, okay? So let's say I'm going to choose the current project, issue type. Now the issue could be a task, it could be a story, it could be a bug, or it could be epic, which is basically all three of them. So I'm going to go with task, and once you go with task, you can choose if it's, an in progress task or in done task or a to do task. I'm going to keep it on to do. Then you can give a summary of it, like coding the app. You can write something like that. Then give it a proper description, like I need urgent coding done for the Jira application. Like, let's say, and then you give like proper steps for the type of coding you want and all that stuff. So once you input this information into the Jira interface, all you're going to do from there is then here are your labels. These labels are to label some person with their attributes and stuff like that, but obviously we don't have any person in our Jira board. I'm going to teach you how to add people to your Jira board later, but let's just discuss the basics right now. Then there are sprints. Now you're probably wondering, what is a sprint? A sprint is basically a type of you could say, automation in a way. So, like on Zapier, there's zaps. Like on Zapier, zap is like a proper automation. In Jira's case, a sprint is a type of an automation. So we don't have any current sprint fields right now, so we're gonna just keep that on, we're gonna keep that empty. Then you have story point estimate, which is the measurement of complexity and or size of a requirement. And then there's a reporter. You can like choose whatever type of reporter you want to be. It could be yourself, or it could be their Atlassian Assist AI, which is also a great thing to have, but that depends on you. And once you've created a proper issue, you're going to click on create. And once you click on create, look at that. In your backlog, an issue has been created and it's going to show right there. Now, once this issue is over here, your whole team can obviously see it. So, as I said, issues can be customized with different fields and workflows to fit your team's needs. Now that we know like what the whole issue and project management thing actually does, let's go ahead and discuss about managing your project when it comes to Jira, okay? So, for managing your project with like your whole project set up, it's time to start properly managing it. So, I'm going to cover how you can use Jira to track your progress and communicate with your team. So, one of the key features of Jira is its agile methodologies like, you have Scrum, you have Kanban, and I'm going to cover how to use these methodologies to manage your project effectively. Additionally, I'm also going to cover on how you can create and manage sprints and how you can use Jira's burn down charts to report and track your progress. So, firstly, let's go ahead and discuss the roadmap. Okay, now the roadmap is basically a type of you could say calendar, and on this calendar you have all your tasks, stuff like that, and you can change the time zone, so you can change it from months to quarters to weeks to whatever you like, to even today. Like in today, on different times you may have different tasks and stuff. You can filter it with, maybe it's to do, maybe it's in progress, maybe it's already done. And then you also have the settings when it comes to your roadmap. You can mess around with the settings if you want to. You can also export or configure a roadmap from another place if you want to. Then the roadmap doesn't really have a lot going on with itself. The main thing starts when you come to board. Now, this is your basic Kanban board. I'm pretty sure this looks pretty familiar. I know it looks a lot like the boards in, Trello or ClickUp or, stuff like that. So this is a proper Kanban board. Now, in the Kanban board, as you can see, there's the to-do, there's in progress, and there is the done. What's fun and good about a Kanban board is once you have like, plans, sprints, and issues, you can easily drag and drop them and change them like in real time, and it's going to be implemented pretty quickly, and it's pretty easy to use, it's pretty easy to get around with, it's pretty easy to understand it. So yeah, now to track your progress on Jira, first of all, what you're going to do is obviously you have your backlog. The main two things that you're going to mess around with is the board and the backlog. Not a lot of people use roadmaps, so I mean maybe you can. It totally depends on you. Now here we are. Here is where they say this is where you plan a sprint. Drag issues from the backlog section or create new issues to plan the work for this sprint. Select start sprint when you're ready. So let's say I'm going to drag this issue over here. Now, once I do that, I'm going to click on Start Sprint. Now, one issue will be included in the sprint, and obviously this sprint is going to be like a time zone. In this time zone, you're going to need to complete this sprint. So, the duration could be, let's say, 1 week. The start date, the end date, sprint goal, you can write something like complete the app, okay? And I'm just going to click on Start. And once you do that, as you can see, the sprint has started. And you can also see that once the sprint starts, your issues are going to be redirected to your Kanban board. And look at that. It's pretty easy. Like, let's say if you're doing this, it could be in progress or it could be done. So different things are at play when it comes to this. And it's pretty easy stuff to, again, get your head around. And like most people complicate a lot of this, but trust me, it's not something to be complicated, and it's pretty simple and easy stuff. So all you need to do again is just be in your backlog, create a few issues, okay? Again, creating issues, you could create one from up there, you could create one from down here. Like let's say I'm going to create another issue, developing the mainframe. Let's write that. And you're going to create another task like having, or you could write thinking of a backup. Then you could write in case first idea fails. Okay, you can write stuff like that. And once you write issues like this, like let's say okay, there's an issue. And once you write issues like this, as you can see, again, if we go in the board, look at that. All these issues are going to be here, and you can, shift these around, write different things and like the issues. You can also edit these issues actively if you want to. First of all, let's go to over here. So here, this is the add attachment. Now, by name, you can already tell what this does. You can attach different, let's say files, or maybe you would want to attach a PDF, a video, or maybe some source that will help you understand. Then there's add a child issue. A child issue could be that maybe you made a silly mistake and what needs to be done. You can write that over here. Then you have the link issue. Link issue could be that, okay, you're doing this and this issue is blocked by that. So you could like mess around with those stuff as well. Then there's the add apps option. The add apps option basically is, the whole integration thing. And obviously we're going to discuss that furthermore in the video. So please do keep on watching. And this is the progress. You can tell if it's to do, in progress, or done. Okay. Then there's this section where it gives us actions. So actions are proper automation. So using actions, you can create an automation to perform tasks with the click of a button. Manual trigger automations will appear once created. So you can go ahead and click on create automation, and as you can see, you're going to be headed into the settings where they're going to allow you to create proper automations for yourself. So here you are. Let's create your first rule. Now, you could like mess around with that all you want, but yeah, then like just go on your issues, mess around with more stuff. Again, there's like different people you can assign with. Then comes the configuration for your tasks. Now, in the configuration, basically you could say choose different settings and types for fields. So this description fields, as you can see in summary and description, let's say you're gonna add a summary like add a new code for second app, stuff like that. And once you've done all that, you're just gonna click on save changes. Look at that. So that's pretty simple, obviously, as you can tell. Like, not a lot of things bug you when it comes to, using your basic tool, which is Jira. Now, furthermore, once we've, discussed this part, as I said, we're also going to discuss how you can communicate with your team. So for the communication with your team, what you're going to do is, let me just go to the boards. Here we are. Okay, so for communication with your team, you can just communicate once you're here. You're going to go to Teams, and once you have a team created, you can just communicate in the Jira software itself, or you can just go on settings and integrate, Microsoft Teams, Slack, stuff like that. And you can also communicate on, your tasks and stuff like that. Like you can add comments over here. Like let's say you don't understand something, you could, say, hey boss, I have an issue with the mainframe objective. Like this person is gonna send this. Okay, this is the comment they're gonna send. Now the boss could say, yes, please tell me the issue. So as you can see, communication's pretty simple, pretty easy when it comes to, your Jira board, because it's like right there in front of you. You can add comments, and it's pretty simple to basically just implement and imitate the whole commentary thing. Now, once you've learned how to, track progress and communicate with your team, I've also shown you how you can do agile methodologies. Like, you have your Scrum and you have your Kanban. Now, the Scrum, as I told you, this is your whole Scrum out view. The backlog, this is just Scrum. And this is Kanban. Now, obviously, as I said, most people work with both of them, but you can work singularly. It all depends on you. I would work with both of them because both of them are pretty effective, pretty agile, and works pretty good. Now, again, I showed you how you can use these methodologies to manage your project effectively, and additionally, I also showed you how to manage sprints and how you can use Jira's burn down charts and track your progress. Now, once we've, understood all of that, let's also see the whole, coding and development gig when it comes to Jira. Now, over here under development, you can see code. Now, what does this do? Basically, get visibility into your team's work from issue to code. So you can basically create an automated DevOps workflow and minimize context switching between your Jira software and Bitbucket, GitHub, GitLab, and other source code management tools. And obviously you can connect these for your whole coding thing. Release 14% more often with Jira and Bitbucket. Teams that integrate Jira software with Bitbucket release versions 14% more often than those who don't. You can also collaborate on code with the right context. manage your entire development workflow from code to deployment. You can get the context your team needs to ship better software with a first-in-class Jira integration. Then you have the simple copy and paste issue keys to start work in Jira software. Use issue keys to link development tools to issues. Include an issue key in any branches, commit messages, or pull requests you create sending data back into your Jira projects. You can also connect your entire workflow with automation, where you can make multiple updates with one action. Streamline your team's workflow by better tracking of productivity, code writing, reviews, and testing. And then you have the whole Atlassian marketplace where you can get GitHub for Jira, you can get integration for Jira, and GitLab for Jira Cloud. Now, once we've discussed all the code, we also discussed how to use the comments and mentions to communicate with your team members. But once all of that is done, let's go ahead and get into the advanced Jira techniques. So I'm going to cover some advanced techniques for using Jira to optimize your project management process. First of all, let's cover Jira's API, which can be used to automate tasks and integrate with other tools. Now, for that, obviously, you can go into the settings, and once you're into your settings, first of all, let's come down to automation. Now, once you're in automation over here, okay, let's just wait for this to load. Now, here we are. So Jira's API allows you to use all these great automations, which do work pretty well. Like, in my opinion, these automations do help you a lot. And as you can see here, they say try these simple automation rules. When all stories are completed, then close Epic. When Epic is completed, you can close all the stories present. When an issue is transitioned, then automatically assign. So basically, these are your automations. And automations, if you don't know what automations initially are, automations are, you could say, if one task is done, the other will happen automatically. So let's say you get an email on your Gmail that once you get an email, you're going to be notified on, let's say, Slack or maybe your Microsoft Teams that, okay, you just got an email. So that's what basically automations are, that if an action happens in one place, the other action happens in the other. So that's what this whole thing does, and it's pretty cool and pretty fun stuff to have by your side when you're working with, a product like this. So, down here, as you can see, when it comes to the Jira software, you can do main automations like when all stories are completed, close Epic. When a version is released, then send a Slack message. You have more things like when new version is released, move issues to done. Then you have when an issue remains for 5 days without an update, send a notification to the assignee, etc. You can also create your own automation by going on create rule. And for over here, just, skip the whole tour if you want to. And over here, as you can see, you can create a new trigger. So let's say I'm going to create a trigger like issue created, okay? Now, once an issue is created, let's go ahead and add a component. And once you add a component, it could be a new action. So once an issue is created, it could, let's say, it could create a newer issue in the same product, give it a task, and it could be let's call it automation testing. Okay, let's just call it that for now. And once you do that, I'm going to click on save. Okay, now click on turn it on. I'm just going to call it something random. And once you do that, click on turn it on. And once it's turned on, let's go ahead and test it, and let's go and see how well does this actually work for us. So you're going to go to your Jira software, open your project. Okay, come in backlog. Let's say I'm going to create an issue over here. Okay, create issue. Now, once an issue is created, basically what it's going to do, there you go. As you can see, it did the automation, and it's called automation testing, and that is what automation does for you. So that's a pretty useful thing, in my opinion, to have by your side when it comes to, the whole Jira software use and everything. So that's one thing that can be covered with the API. And another thing can be integration with other tools. Now, if you don't know what integration is when you basically link one of the softwares or apps you're using with another app, and they work together to do something similar for you. So for that, you're going to head on to apps. Now, once you're in apps, you can just go and click on explore more apps, and here you can see discover apps and integrations for Jira. Now, these are the tons and tons of different integrations you can get for Jira, like Dryo, you have issue checklist, you have better PDF, timesheet, extension, and like tons and tons of other integrations that will just basically help you into, easier stuff, help you in more efficient work with Jira. So yeah. Now, you can integrate stuff pretty easily by, like, let's say I'm gonna integrate with this, with Script Runner. Okay, so you're just gonna click on that, and once you click on that, you're gonna click on try it for free, and then they're, gonna ask you to do the whole integration. So just click on try it for free. Once you do that, here they're just gonna start your trial and link it with your Jira, and you're gonna get a whole section opened up in your Jira where you're gonna be able to easily access the whole integration plot. Now, once we've discussed the whole integration bit, let's go ahead and discuss the side info. And the side info that I'm talking about is JQL. If you don't know what JQL is basically Jira query language, which can be used to create custom filters and reports. Now, let me just head on back to my project, and if we open a new tab over here and write Jira query language, okay, we're gonna write that. So as you can see, they've like taught us how to use the advanced search with Jira's own query language. And knowing a program's own query language just makes it much easier for us to basically, you could say. So now once you're into, the whole JQL interface, you can see the advanced search allows you to build structured queries using the JQL to search for issues. You can specify criteria that you can't define in the quick or basic searches. If you don't have complex search criteria, try quick search instead. And JQL is not a database query language, even though it does use SQL-like syntax. Now, search for issues using JQL, you can choose filters in the navigation bar. You can also select advanced issue search. If the basic search is shown instead of advanced search, so click advanced next to the search icon. If advanced is already enabled, you'll see the option of switching to basic. You can also enter your JQL query as you type. Jira will offer a list of autocomplete suggestions based on the context of your query. Note, autocomplete suggestions only include the first 15 matches, displayed alphabetically, so you may need to enter more text if you can't find a proper match. You can also press enter or click search to run your query. Your search results will be displayed in the issue navigator. You can also search for issues using, JQL in a proper project. You can build structured queries using the Jira query language to search for issues in a project. You can specify criteria that you can define in the quick or basic searches. The order by clause, for example. Now, again, JQL is not a proper database query language, but it will give you a proper syntax. So that's like one of the good things about it, and that's how you can get more behind it. Now, basically, what's gonna happen from here is you're gonna come up here, and the whole searching bit, you're just gonna come up and search over here. So this is the whole search bit that they're talking about, and this is what you can use to basically just get more around Jira and get more comfortable with it, get more into it and stuff like that. Now, you can also go into, your whole setting management. And in the settings, you can basically do different configurations with it. Now, we're going to get into that in like a few seconds. Let's just go ahead with all of this again. So there's, first of all, you have the roadmap, okay? You have your backlog, which is a Scrum. You have the board, which is a Kanban. You have the code, which you can use to, develop more stuff. And then you have, different product pages. You can add shortcuts. And you also have project settings. Now, these are different things that you can mess around with if you want to. And then you have, your projects up here. Here are your filters where you can search for issues across all projects and save them as filters if you want to. Then you have dashboards where you can create different dashboards to track your progress. So let's just call this track for now. Okay, I'm just gonna put in some random description. Then the viewers could be private if you want it to be, then just click on save. And as you can see, you have different dashboards now. And then you also have teams where you can, create a team or invite people to Jira. This is how you're going to invite, different workers and people to work around with when it comes to, the whole Jira thing. Then again, there's the apps, and in the apps, again, they recommend stuff for your team, like timesheet tracking, Slack, X-ray testing, more stuff like that. But now that we've discussed, the main stuff, let's go ahead into the settings. So first of all, we're going to head over to the system settings. Now, once you go into the system settings, what do we find over here? In the system settings, you first have the general configuration, and over here are your main options to just mess around with Jira. The main thing comes in security, where you have different project roles, and this is where you can assign different roles to yourself and to your team members. Now, these roles could be, totally dependent on whatever type of roles you have in maybe your office or your workspace and stuff like that. Now, as you can see right now, I'm the administrator and I have the project access, but I can just edit this and give it to other people. Then you also have global permissions, and you can see these permissions apply to all projects. They are independent of project-specific permissions. If you wish to set permissions on a project-by-project basis, you can set them up in the permission schemes. To allow users to basically log in, they must have application access. Furthermore, you can see that in Jira permissions, you first have the administrator Jira, where you can create and administer projects, issue types, fields, workflows, and schemes for all projects. Users with these permissions can perform most administration tasks except managing users, importing data, and editing system email settings. Then you have, all this other stuff here as well, like browse users and groups, share dashboards and filters, manage group filter subscriptions, make bulk changes, create team managed products, and much, much more. Now, when it comes to, again, the whole admin interface, this is where you're going to mess with all the things. Then in the automation section, you have the global automations, okay? Now, in the global automations, obviously you can see all the automations that people added in your projects, or maybe you've added in your projects, and much more. You can also use keyboard shortcuts, install plugins and add-ons for best practices of managing large-scale projects for yourself, and much, much more stuff to just, go ahead with. But yeah, that's like mostly all of it. So as you can see, whether you are new to Jira or experienced user, it's pretty easy to use, and as you can see, it like provides valuable insights and tips to optimize your project management process. Now, basically, we saw that Jira is a powerful project management tool that is widely used by software development teams, but it can be adapted to manage any type of project. It is a great web-based application, in my opinion, that provides a central platform for, your collaboration, issue tracking, and much, much more. Now, as you see, we covered everything from creating project issues to, configuring all the workflows and basically all the boards. You also manage users and permissions. We also saw the different boards, like, you have Scrum, you have Kanban, you have Agile. So basically Kanban, Scrum, and Agile. So these are the different boards, and then obviously we covered all the main basics of the issues, boards, sprints. Sprint is a very important thing when it comes to Jira, because without sprints, you don't really have a lot to work with. Like, you need like a sprint is pretty necessary to basically, you could say, get issues in, to make your board much more formidable, to make your board much more, you could say, acceptable, to make it look nicer, to make it look more professional. That's the word I'm looking for, to make it look more professional. Now, once we're done with, all that stuff, let's go ahead and talk about, the different issues and types of priorities where you can create and assign tasks to team members and use all the different agile methodologies like Scrum and Kanban to manage your projects effectively. Again, track progress all you want, because tracking progress is also a pretty easy feature. All the reports that you can make, you can also use the JQLs and stuff like that, comments, mentions, all that stuff. And again, I can't emphasize on this enough. If you need to search anything, any member, any type of message, just use the JQL, which is the Jira query language, which you can use to search issues and create many custom reports. So the built-in time tracking and estimation tools also are pretty great to, manage your project timelines and all the budget you have. So that's like, all the main stuff when it comes to your Jira project management. Now, like, even when it comes to other, you could say, project management tools out there, other project management tools are they're good. Like, you have Trello, ClickUp, but they don't offer all the variety like Jira, and they're not as easy to use as Jira, because Jira offers the variety of Kanban, Scrum, and Agile in one place. The other places, not so much. And obviously, like, the rundown of all the awesome features of Jira is pretty good. So, as we know, Jira, a great, powerful platform combining all the issue collection and agile project management capabilities that you have into a single application. And using the whole Jira software helps you plan and organize your tasks and workflows in a pretty easy way. You can also report your agile team more efficiently. The powerful issue collection and agile project management capabilities of Jira software are built on top of the Jira admin. Now, what is the Jira admin, you ask? Jira admin also contains the administrative functionalities of Jira's software. Many application settings, as you can see, all the application settings that we went through, are configured in Jira admin, like creating and editing workflows or configuring permissions. Whenever you are asked to perform functions like these, which require administrative access to Jira admin, you will be directed to the Jira administration documentation to, approach these tasks much easily. Now, you can use those documentations to, lead an agile project if you are a product manager, or, a project or a product owner, development manager, scrum master, team lead, or if you hold any role that basically, you could say, requires agile product management. Then this basically document and admin stuff, it's for you, because it helps you a lot. It really helps you a lot. And like we saw, that Jira software it's a pretty highly customizable application, so your organization's instance of Jira software may appear different than shown here. In addition, different features and functionalities are available to users depending on their permissions. In these instances, you will get the highlighted permissions to require a proper completed task. But yeah, that's basically all there pretty much is to Jira. As you can see, it's not a very complex platform or a software out there, and it's one of the best when it comes to project development. So yeah, that was pretty much all from me. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, please drop down a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, explaining different projects and softwares, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll make more videos for you. But yeah, until then, I hope you all keep having a great and amazing day. That was all from me, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.